All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for joining us on this Friday worldwide transmission, 7/11, the 11th day already of February, 2014. Again, I'm your host, Alex Jones. We're going to Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs. I keep saying Staff Sergeant because he first did military reporting for us part-time. So when you do military reporting, you say that they're former Staff Sergeant retired. That's a standard way to do it. And now that he reports on everything for us and works here full-time and does a great job with the rest of the crew, I just keep calling him Staff Sergeant. And I tell the crew, stop calling him Staff Sergeant because you're not supposed to do that in standard journalism, but I keep doing it. But talk radio is a little different. There's a lot of former cops and military that have radio shows, and they'll call them by their name, like Sergeant Sam Cox, locally on the radio. So it's kind of a choice thing, but I tell the crew stop using it because it's not the standard journalism thing to do, and then I keep doing it. We're going to go to Joe Biggs here in just a minute. You know, I want him to do a war stories deal like Oliver North does because of all his interesting photos and videos he's shown me, and his letters and all the rest of it. Some of the stuff Esquire wrote about. He saw some very interesting combat. Not a lot of people, you know, have been in like knife fights with Al-Qaeda and stuff, and he never told those stories to the public. And I've seen his commendations and stuff, and you know, Esquire wrote about some of it. We need him to tell those stories and then to talk to other vets and get their stories. Just because the average person has no idea the type of stuff that went on in Afghanistan and Iraq and more. We're going to go to him in Marietta, California in a moment. Let's go through these articles right here. Border Patrol agent, U.S. government completing the smuggle cycle. I want to go to that, but first I want to go to Sheila Jackson Lee. Her comment is almost as dumb as the congressman that thinks that islands float, that Guam floats, but it's not that dumb. That's in its own universe. But this is just pure old-fashioned Bravo Sierra saying that our border is under control. But in a way it is, like Obama said. When he said, I have an intimate knowledge. Everything is going as I have seen it, quoting Emperor Palpatine, because they've ended the border. Unless you're a citizen trying to come back or somebody with skills trying to come in. But if you're ready to sign up for welfare and get a voter ID card and pull the lever to take my guns, baby, you have got a gravy train, at least for a while, till everything collapses. But what do you know? You're already leaving a place that collapsed, so I don't even blame those people. But it'd be like, you know, having somebody jump off an Empire State Building and land on you. You may not dislike the person. It's going to kill you. Their weight's going to smash you. Use the analogy of water they use in those high-powered water hoses to strip mine. Up close, it'll cut a person in half. I'm not against water. I'm not aquaphobic, like I'm pedophobic. That's the new thing. If you're against raping children, you're a pedophobe. That's serious mainstream news now. It's like, come on, hand your kids over, racist. I mean, you think I'm joking? The group that runs things is going to have killing old people and killing babies up to age 3. It's already being legalized in Europe. Okay, I mean, this is a plan they're following. No matter how radical and crazy I sound, and even when I try to engage in satire, it's actually going on, okay? It's so over the top that there's the London Telegraph headline. Australian judge says incest may longer be taboo, and in the ruling he went on to say pedophilia is no big deal. That's international news right now. What do you think's going on with all these kids being exploited, being wards of the state? No one even knows their names. It's just guaranteed they're having their organs harvested, some of them. Guaranteed they're going into the sex trade. In fact, that's already coming out. Guaranteed, we said months ago, they're mules. It's been confirmed now by even the DEA, they're mules. I mean, this is a total takeover. So let's go to Sheila Jackson Lee and then to Joe Biggs. Here it is.
I disagree that our border is in devastating condition. Our border patrol agents are doing their job.
You think the border is secure?
No, Craig, here's what I think. I think that you have not looked to this issue except for this rising migration.
Congresswoman, this is a very simple question. Yes or no? Are our borders secure?
I think our border with now 21,000 Border Patrol agents is under control.
They was $2 billion, $3.5 billion. More Border Patrol, which is a red carpet assembly line conveyor belt for the illegal aliens. You understand? They are the delivery conduit. They load them on the buses under any name they want and bust them all over, including 36,000 aggravated felons in 1 month this year. Now they want $3.7 billion, AP reports. Let's go to Border Patrol agent talking about this on Fox News. This is Hector Garza with Sean Hannity last night. Okay, this is a fact. Here it is.
When you say that the federal government's aiding and abetting, sounds like they're supposed to be protecting this border. You mean aiding and abetting. What do you mean specifically?
Actually, what's happening is that the federal government is actually completing the smuggling cycle by having a parent sending their child to the U.S. border, having them smuggled. That is only part of the smuggling cycle.
That's what I've been trying to explain the whole time. Okay, this is so simple, it's hard to understand. Even for me, it's so over the top. And they've got a psychological name for that, I forget, where you just are overwhelmed, deer in the headlights. Just, it's so ridiculous. 2 + 2 = 5. You didn't build your business. You can keep your doctor when you can't. We're not coming from your guns. We just want to ban them. I mean, it's this overthrow of reality that we see going on right now, where you've got Latin America, 700 million people in collapse, and they're advertising 99% are being released. If you can get here, the Border Patrol is going to give you a voucher to deliver you to a church group, the Catholic Church, you name it, who are going to put you in with the Democrats to turn all the states blue. And then we had, earlier this year, of the Veritas Project with O'Keefe, got the video at like 5 different meetings in Texas, in Austin, where Sheila Jackson was speaking from in that video clip. And in the articles, they go, we're opening the borders, we're going to take over within 5 years. I mean, it's game over, folks. They're going to ban our guns. You understand? I mean, they're not playing games with Battleground Texas. People better get that through their head. And Rick Perry's going, I think Obama cares. I've got a clip coming up if we talk to Biggs. He wants to control the border. And, you know, we need to get people down on the border. And meanwhile, they're 100 miles back on purpose to open the border up. There it is, blue state blues. Fleeing Democrats will turn Texas blue. That's the plan. Like locust. They destroy California, they destroy Michigan, they destroy New York, they destroy all the, and then they come here where we had lower taxes. And I mean, let me tell you, they'll walk up when you got 3 kids in a grocery store and say, you shouldn't have 3 kids. That's happened to my wife probably 5 times in Whole Foods. And you're like, you're joking, right? These Californians will walk up in the gym and tell you not talk too loud. If you're talking about the Second Amendment or how you don't like Obama, they'll walk over and go, please be quiet. So I was talking about the traffic being real bad in the gym the other day, and the lady walks over and goes, stop talking loud or I'll complain. And I was like, are you kidding? And she, I mean, they're coming. They rule. They rule everything. Their weakness, their evil, their scumminess is unstoppable. You can go into Acre and on video and say, I want to run child sex slaves from Mexico. And they'll say, we're ready to run the op right now. They're savage. They're in control. They launder the money. They dominate. It's organized crime, period. They're going to bring the whole country down fast. All right, let's go to Joe Biggs and Joe Jennings running camera, doing a great job in front of the Civic Center where the communists and socialists showed up 2 days ago. We have video admitting it's Cloward and Piven. We've got an incredible report coming up in the next segment. Joe filed a never-before-seen interview. Nobody's gotten this with the Brown Berets of Mecha and of La Raza. That interview is up on Infowars.com. But Joe Biggs, thank you for being out there. You're flying back tonight. You've done a yeoman's job. Tell us what you've seen.
Joe Biggs here in Temecula, Southern California. It's a neighboring city right beside Murrieta, where yesterday they had a very large victory over the Obama administration, where they stood up and they said, no, you're not going to bring those people in here. You're not going to bring those illegal alien kids into our town and make us go bankrupt. And then we got assaulted, like always, by a Fed. The feds came after us, the Border Patrol, the local police, and then we decided to go up again't La Raza and talk to them.
Now, I haven't heard what happened. You got assaulted? I mean, exactly what happened?
Well, no, I didn't mean to say assaulted. They came up to us and confronted us. I used the wrong word. My bad.
Well, we know what happened to folks that did the wrong thing in Iraq and Afghanistan. But anyways, let's continue on now. What else has happened?
Well, yesterday, towards the end of the protest, we were hanging out there. We saw a couple of Mexican flags waving off in the distance, and I noticed that no one was down there with them. And when we got a closer look, you could see the brown shirts, the dark pants and the berets. And I said, hey, that's Raza. We need to go walk down there and see, let's go talk to him. No one else was doing it. Everybody was standing off from a distance and taking pictures. So we hopped in our vehicle and drove down there, and I simply got out and I said, hey, can I conduct an interview with you? And he said no. So I put the microphone down and I walked over and just started having a conversation with the guy. And after a minute, he started to ease up and got a little bit more comfortable. And Joe Jennings came around and started filming. No one else has ever had an on-camera interview with Raza before. This is an exclusive interview with them. And the funny thing, if you notice...
You're talking about with this particular group of Brown Beret, admittedly communist group, racist group, doesn't like anybody that isn't Hispanic, and you were able to talk to them. That interview's on Infowars.com. Tell us about some of the things they said.
Well, some of the things they were saying is that they said there should be no borders, just like the socialists said at the rally the other day. They don't think there should be any borders whatsoever at all. And one of the things was, too, is when I walked up to him, he looked at me and goes, oh, you're with Infowars, aren't you? And I said, yeah. He's like, yeah, I've seen you guys before. And he's like, yeah, I'm not really a fan of your views. And behind him, one of the ladies that was a member of Raza, or a supporter, I would say, was sitting there filming me and calling me the evil media.
Pretty ridiculous. Funny. The globalists want open borders where none of us have any rights and we're all slaves under global corporate domination. They're the ones through the Ford Foundation openly funding Raza and Mecha. But I bet those idiots that follow it, like the mindless Klan that doesn't know they're federally handled, I bet they have no idea even about that.
Well, the funny thing was, though, is when he talked to me, he seemed very calm. And all he did was talk about the kids. He just wanted to talk about how the only reason they're there is for the kids. And I asked him, why are you out here today, sir? And he said, I want to make sure that none of my people who are out here get harmed, and we just want to make sure everything is fair. But there was no one else at the protest supporting Raza at all. There was no pro-amnesty people out there. It was just them on both sides of the road with flags waving in the air, standing out there with their arms behind their back at parade rest. There was 5 of them on one side. But as soon as this Hispanic journalist walked up after I got done with mine, and he called him the Mexican KKK, that's when he flipped and started calling him a traitor, and they started flipping him off, giving him the bird, and just going crazy on him.
And you got all that on tape?
Yes, in front of me, they're very cool and calm.
Now wait, have you put out the flipping? Have you put the flipping out yet on online?
It's at the very end.
Okay, because I was busy this morning and watched about 80% of it. So I can't watch all these videos. I saw most of it, knew I wanted to play it, so it's at the end. Because I haven't even seen all this yet, folks. So we're going to be playing that soon. We should put that out on its own with Darren McBreen's video he's putting out today, showing they're flipping out at the first, and then all the past examples of them flipping out. I'm going to skip this network break because this is so important. What else are you going to do today before you guys come back to Austin?
Well, we're thinking about going up to L.A., where they have been dropping off a lot of these kids. When they bypassed Marietta, I guess they decided to take the illegal immigrant children to the one of the facilities in L.A. where all the pro-amnesty supporters come out of. So now I guess it's their problem to deal with. So we're going to go out there and see if we can find some of these spots, go to some of the dioceses, and see if we can figure out where these kids are getting dropped off in L.A.
All right. Well, Joe Biggs and Joe Jennings, great job, guys. Hustle up to L.A., get on your plane, get back to Austin, and hopefully we can debrief you guys over some cold ones this weekend.
That sounds like a good idea, Alex.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. Good job. All right, there goes Joe Biggs and Joe Jennings on the board. We've had a bunch of our team out there, Jakari Jackson, Kit Daniels, Josh Owens, and others. Right now, I want to get to this report, but first, this is the CEO of the race. The Klan ought to change their name to that, or the Stormfront could just call it the race. It's like, but that would be racist. Not, I mean, this is not racist when these guys do it. And we have a bunch of clips we haven't aired yet, going back over years of Raza and Mecha saying, go back to Europe, we're going to kill you, all the rest of it. But first, here's the CEO just yesterday, I guess on MSNBC. She's also been on CNN saying that it's racist to protest the end of the border completely and third world hell pits that we don't want to live in collapsing into us. Here it is.
Is that these people apparently are able to dictate deportation policy insofar as 150 anti-immigrant protesters turned these buses around. What was your reaction to it?
Well, I agree with you, Alex, that it is appalling and outrageous to see that this group of extremists and really really landing themselves as vigilantes were able to control an outcome here.
All right, guys. I mean, the issue is the extremists are the ones getting rid of the border, but you can't go to Mexico or Guatemala. I mean, you're illegal there. They throw you in prison on record for years in some cases, usually 6 months hard labor. Look up Mexico has the most draconian immigration laws in this hemisphere. And then she says it with a straight face, I'm so ashamed to be American. It's all about lecturing us. Again, 2 + 2 = 5. Don't say bossy. It's like, shut up. Quit telling me what to do, you cult member. You freak. I don't live in North Korea, witch. Your spell is broken on me. I'm not under your political correctness. And by the way, almost every Hispanic American I talk to doesn't want open borders. They're not suicidal. There's a reason everybody's fleeing up here. And America ain't that good now. I mean, let me tell you something. I'm a grown man. Guatemala's scary. El Salvador, Venezuela, it's scary. Seeking a new day to come ban my guns. Now let's go to Joe Biggs' interview with the Brown Berets of Mecha and La Raza. They're the paramilitary force, and they've been doing this for 30 years. They wear brown uniforms and brown berets. Let's go ahead and go. They actually wear Ernst Röhm SA outfits, for those that don't, and they're not Nazis, they're more communists, but I wonder why they chose fascist uniforms. Here they are.
I'm Joe Biggs with Infowars.com in Murrieta, California. Now, right behind me, on both sides of the road, we have La Raza's soldiers standing their little guard, waving Mexican flags back and forth. I want to go down there and talk to them and see what they have to say, hear what their views are on this matter. Let's go down there and take a look. What is your stand then on how to deal with it?
Well, you know, I don't know the answers. I
mean, just your personal opinion.
But I do know that you know, everyone has the right to protest. That's right. You know, First Amendment. That's fine. Even if they have whatever, it's not like they made the choice to come.
No, but think about
what I'm saying.
But I'm saying
they already got caught. I'm talking about they're already detained. You know,
well,
they're already detained.
What's your stance on the border then? Do you think we should have borders or no?
That's not the issue.
Well, I mean, but this is all connected.
No, it could be all connected, but we're, you know, our issue is one issue.
So it's just the kids.
Right now, whatever my personal opinion is, I feel on any other issue, so it has nothing to do.
Okay, well, here's my next question then. So are you guys going to take in these kids as well?
If these kids, how can we do that?
But they're going to be releasing them.
Okay, if they release them, I'll tell you right now, they can come to my house.
But I went to the pro-amnesty meeting yesterday at town hall, and the diocese said that they will be releasing them into the city. So would you take them into the home?
Yes, I would take them into my home. You take them home? I would take them into my home.
There's a lot of people who say they want to take these kids in, but they won't do it. You got people like Nancy Pelosi and all these people who say they're going to bring kids on. No one's doing it. I just want to know.
Those people are doing it and making big statements, you know, so everybody can hear and this and that, and they're not doing it. Well, tell us, you know, right now where they're being released at. And I'll tell you right now, they can release them to me.
Well, from what I heard last night, like I said, from the diocese when he spoke at the rally up there, he said they should
be released from them. Well, see, I don't know about him. And see,
well, I just know when I heard they had a big rally.
We don't know about. Well, okay, see, you're saying what you heard.
All right, guys, we're gonna pause that and then come back to more of it where the confrontation begins. And again, it was like 40-mile-an-hour winds out there, so that's why it sounds like that. But the full interview is up on Infowars.com. I'm going to put a shorter version out with the meat of it, but that's going to come up in a moment. But again, yeah, they can come to his house, then be put on Democratic Party welfare, taxpayer welfare, and then become wards of the state. And then the illegals get a job, but they also get the welfare. Just like Walmart now tells their employees, go get welfare as well. They changed the law where you can work at Walmart and you make so little. Walmart's public about this 2 years ago that you then go get welfare on top of it. So see, that's what they really want in the new model is you got to work and be on welfare to live. The jobs won't pay enough to live with the regulations, the bureaucracy, and the cost of living. But then, so you got to work and be a slave to them as well on government payroll. Pure exploitation. So we're going to play that clip where they blow up here at the end when somebody else comes over and starts talking to them. But before we go any further, I want to just remind listeners, we are listener supported. And this hour is brought to you by mypatriotsupply.com/Alex. where you can find the highest quality non-GMO storable food, great customer service, and other preparedness items. MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. If you don't have storable food, you're simply insane. They have a toll-free number there on their website as well, 866-229-0927, MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. Let's go out to break with the La Raza people going from acting real friendly with their talking points to blowing up. And then later, I'm going to show you the true face of La Raza and Mecha with a video we've put together from over the years. But here it is.
And that's it. Then the conversation's over. Conversation's over. What I'm saying is this, man. Whatever happened here was not the way to change anything. Because it didn't do nothing. And it didn't change anything. Okay. It diverted some things, but it's still going to happen somewhere else.
Well, thank you for your opinion.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You know, that's not the way to do it. I'll tell you that. Okay. I don't know the answer to how to do it, but I'll tell you that wasn't the way to do it, because it didn't do nothing but make it happen somewhere else.
Okay, what's Raza on me?
You know?
Hey, David. What is Raza on me?
David. Hey, I gotta talk to you.
You don't want to explain Raza on?
No, that's not looking at
¿De qué raza soy yo? ¿De qué raza soy yo?
just like we did.
¿Tengo que aprender yo?
Yeah, Google
¿Crees
it.
que yo no sé?
I don't know.
Google it, man.
Hablas español, hablas lengua.
Why are we doing this, man?
We're going to go to break and come back with the rest. This guy in Spanish is telling them, you know, basically you're out of your mind, and they start calling him a traitor and stuff. But before we go to break, I want to air Leanne McAdoo's report from yesterday, where Obama was at the tiny theater compared to his normal venues. People there worshiping Obama. We decided to go out and find out exactly what they thought. Here is her report.
I'm standing in front of the Paramount Theater here in Austin, Texas, where His Highness President Barack Obama is headlining. Now, in response to his critics who wondered why he wasn't at the border while he's in Texas, he said a visit to the border would be nothing more than theater. And, of course, the irony is not lost on the fact that his name is on the marquee at the Paramount Theater as he's here to address his adoring fans. Well, we're going to go check with some of these people, some of whom have waited since midnight trying to get tickets to see the big show. Are you super pumped to be in the presence of the Lord and Savior Obama?
Yeah. You know, it's not every day you see the president.
Yes, I am, but I'm hoping to get them in too. I really want her to go. I think she'll appreciate it.
No, I think it's more about just seeing the president, and I've never seen a president before.
How do you feel knowing that you might still not make it past the rope?
Well, if that happens, we would not be very happy.
It'll be a waste of time, but it'll be at least worth watching.
We heard people actually stayed overnight. Were there overnight?
Yeah, they did.
What about you guys?
We did that, actually.
You were there. What time did you get there?
Midnight? Yeah, around there.
Look how helpless they are.
So they could start doling out tickets at 8:30. So you guys are visiting from Europe?
Exactly, from Switzerland.
So this is super exciting for you to go see the President of the United States of America?
Indeed, yes, indeed.
Kinda.
I gotta warn you, I work at Fox around the corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so if you had one shot to ask the president anything, let's just say he goes all mavericky and rogue and lets people ask him a question, what would be your one question?
I'd like to do something about student loan debt.
I would probably just go mute and not be able to talk.
Oh my
Is he
gosh.
going for a third term? I know he can't, but...
Would you like him to? Would you vote for him?
I would. Yes, I would. I would vote for him. It'd be a toss between Clinton and Obama.
Oh, yeah.
I think I would be asking him about what he plans to do for the next 2 years of his presidency. How is he going to handle the issues that we're seeing with the gridlock? He's doing the best he can,
The
obviously,
gridlock.
but there has to be a breaking point.
Why are you continuing the journal?
Wow, good
He's
question.
trying to slit America's throat. We need to help him.
Do you want to hang out with the president later?
Yes.
How long have you been staying in Hawaii? Probably.
Just how long? Are you into Hawaii? Or?
Yeah.
Do you think it's weird that people like hail the president as sort of a kingly figure?
It is something you have to get used to. I mean, I can understand it if he's such
we'll be
an
back.
important person for the state.
Full report up on Infowars.com. Yeah, I mean, Kim Jong-un. They treat him like a king, too. Queen of England. Why not? Worship him. Alex Jones here for Infowars.com. we're going to be intensifying our efforts to awaken free humanity to the scourge of the globalist in the month of July. And starting this July 4th, we are going to slash prices in a celebration of true Americana, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence on all of the Made in America products that you will find at madein1776.com or InfoWarsStore.com. We're talking about Made in America belt buckles in brass and nickeled brass that state it loud and proud. Molon Labe. That's why we have the best-selling Made in America men's and women's Molon Labe Infowars.com shirts. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a win-win. You vote with your dollars. You support the most hardcore organization out there for promoting true ideas of libertarianism, constitutionalism, basic human empowerment. But more importantly, you get T-shirts and belt buckles so you can meet like-minded people. So you have a conversation starter with friends and family and coworkers. We are reaching out to each other. And you also throw it in the face of the anti-gunners and the rest of the parasites out there that you're a free man and woman and that you're not going to be a slave, that you're not going to be intimidated to shut up by their tyranny that they call political correctness. That's why in the month of July, we have got giant specials on everything at madein1776.com. But to expand the InfoWar, we're offering the biggest special in the history, 13 years of PrisonPlanet.tv, our multimedia platform. We're offering the equivalent of more than 5 months free right now when you get a membership at PrisonPlanet.tv, and you get 11 memberships that can be used with the same username and passcode so you can share it with friends and family. Now is the time to fund the war bonds. Now is the time to fund the InfoWar. Now is the time to get aggressive. Now is the time to double down. Now is the time to realize you are the people that made the InfoWar so successful and one of the leading lights worldwide against tyranny. You don't stand behind us, you stand right beside us, and I salute all of you on this July 4th, 2014, and going forward in the month of July and onward. This is about freedom worldwide and that desire for human dignity and self-determination that beats in the human breast. We are brothers and sisters together in the true spirit of liberty and the animating contest of liberty. And so I quote in closing the great Thomas Jefferson that I have sworn on the altar of God resistance against every form of tyranny. And never forget, if you are watching or listening to this transmission, you are the resistance.